More on this, let's bring in David Gelman, former prosecutor and criminal defense attorney. David, thanks for joining us on Labor Day here. I want to get your reaction to, the Wall Street Journal basically says that this tariff battle is just upping the ante at the Supreme Court, suggesting that the conservative high court may really weigh in on one of the boldest expansions of presidential executive power. What's your take on this?
I feel it's like deja vu all over again, Griff. Think about it. Every time the president does an executive order, whether it's for immigration or for tariffs, he gets a pushback every which way. And this is no different. Now, look, Congress has given the president pretty broad powers for tariffs. And these tariffs have been working pretty well. Look at the deficit that has been really gone into because of the tariffs. We've got hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars in revenue because of this. So I think the U.S. Supreme Court, they're going to have to talk about this. They're going to have to look into it. And at the end of the day, they're going to have to give their opinion. And I think they're going to be going for President Trump because he does have the power to set the tariffs for the American people. And also, let's also remember this. The other countries, they've already agreed to this. So it's not like a willy-nilly, oh, here, let's just throw a tariff on and be done with it. The other countries have agreed to it. So I don't think there's really, much to say about it.
Well, David, you're the lawyer. I'm not. But as I understand in this ruling, it's a 7-4 ruling, and this court found that the 1977 International Emergency Economic Powers Act was the reason for which Trump, carried out the tariffs. And the court said, hey, there's nothing about the actual tariffs. The word tariffs not in this 1977 law. Do you think that's something the high court might say, I don't know, we do see maybe there's a problem here?
Griff, I think you could have gone to law school and graduated with me. How you're reading that. Look, I think, yes, at the end of the day, I think the high court is going to look at this. And again, they got to defer to the executive branch, to President Trump, because he does have the executive power to do such a thing. So when you're talking about tariffs, and not particularly that, but if you're just talking about the generalization of it, yeah, I think they're going to defer, and I think they're going to rule in his favor.
Hey, David, let me switch gears a little bit and go to that story of this judge halting the deportation of the 76 Guatemalan children on that plane. Bill Melugin, that was reporting on it there, myself, spent years covering the border crisis under Biden. There's some 300,000 kids that crossed the border unaccompanied, either through human smuggling syndicates or placed with unvetted sponsors, a whole litany of problems that this administration said, we're going to get this right. Now, we understand that in that specific deportation, the Trump administration and the Office of Resettlement, Refugee Resettlement, ORR, under HHS, worked coordinated with Guatemala to carry this out, bring those children back to their parents. What say you on this ruling?
I think this judge is overreaching again. Look at what she did in her order. It's a 14-day stay, meaning it's a temporary restraining order. So the kids can't go anywhere for at least 14 days. Now, this is a very interesting case because a lot of the parents have already said in legal papers, notarized, we want our children back. Please, United States, put them on a plane, send them back to us in Guatemala. I don't understand why the judge is saying, oh, no, we shouldn't be doing that. This act is not to make kids not go back to their parents. It's for kids when they cannot go back to a safe place. Well, when their parents are back in their country and they're saying it's safe to come back here, they should be able to go back. And this judge really, again, overreaching. And I understand it's a liberal judge. She was a Biden appointee. And obviously there's not a lot of love for President Trump and his administration. But it's a huge overreach. And I do believe that the Supreme Court, when it does hear it, will strike this down very, very quickly.
And so just in the last 30 seconds I've got, David, you see any stop to these activist judges throwing these TROs left and right?
I wish I did, Griff. But, look, the Supreme Court, they already said these injunctions are getting way out of hand, and you cannot do nationwide injunctions pretty much like this one is. I got a feeling that until the Supreme Court keeps striking them down left and right, we're going to keep having these activist judges, be thinking they're the president of the United States.
David Gelman, great insight. Thanks for coming on Labor Day. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks. You too, Griff.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.